242.
I know, she's back, isn't she?
I'm
if
back.
you're wondering
That's why I said my name, because I'm back.
Yeah, because everyone's forgotten. If you're wondering why you saw lots of my face, it's because, Esther's been on holiday, she's been skiving with COVID.
Let's just, let me set this straight. First of all, I wasn't skiving. I did have a holiday booked and I went to Finland. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. And then after I came back from Finland, unfortunately, we did get COVID, so we've been isolating for 10 days. So it's been, a bit of a kind of a few weeks not without my face. It must have been very difficult because I left you with Ruach.
Well, I mean,
they've
learned a lot about God.
Golf.
They've probably improved their game.
Yeah, could be. So I feel like now you need to know a bit more about my holiday.
Yeah, I think it'd be good.
Yeah, what do you want to know? What I did?
Why is Finland called Finland?
I don't know why Finland is called Finland. Yeah, maybe that's for you to Google. They could Google that at home. Extra points.
Because the Finnish call it Suomi, don't they?
Suomi, yeah. So we went there. We started off in Helsinki. And then we travelled from Helsinki up north to Rovaniemi, which is Lapland, to go and visit Santa.
What's up to this sport?
Well, there was sport involved because there was this bit where I feel I was very sporty. I did watch people cross-country ski, so that kind of counts as
generally, like people that are very sporty, very rarely say, I felt very sporty.
I felt I was out of breath watching them do cross-country skiing. But I also went sledding, on a sled, and I feel like...
Not sleighing.
No, sledding. And I do feel, having done that now, that maybe I could actually be a bobslayer. Maybe we should show a little... No, we won't show that.
Bobslayer?
Is that what they're called?
Or a bobsledder.
Or a bobsledder. So maybe I could show them a little video of some of the kind of the sledging that me and the boys did. But maybe not a video of me doing it.
That's the one we want to see.
It's really not, because that video I feel just needs to stay in an archive somewhere that that I see actually. Because it's not a good video.
Here it is.
So I hope you enjoyed that bit of a video of me sledging, obviously looking really good. But also we went not riding huskies, you shouldn't ever do that because you hurt a husky.
You rode a husky.
We went to John, my husband, he was on like the sled, and then me and the children were sitting in it, and then we had...
Would you call him a slayer?
A slayer, and then the dogs, the huskies, pulled us all around through the forest, through the snow. Wow. It was absolutely incredible. But before we went, we had to listen. It's a bit like if you've ever been to that trampoline jump park and you have to listen to these instructions first of all. Now, fortunately, it was my husband listening. I am really bad following instructions. And so he was told how to brake with the sled so that the huskies didn't get hurt, because if you went too fast downhill, the sled could have caught up with the huskies. And you were taught how to kind of steer, and he listened to absolutely everything, and he had a little practice, and we were in the front husky sled team, me and the boys. And so we were going around this course, and we had all these different teams behind us, about 4 lots behind us, And then the guy in the front, he then put his arm up, which meant break. Now, John had learnt this, so he put his feet down and he pressed something, and anyway, I don't know how to do it. It stopped. However, the people behind us had not learnt that and then listened to the instructions. And suddenly, all the huskies, we had huskies of theirs coming into our husky team, and one of the dogs got trapped. And then it was like you see one of those films when everybody just crashed into each other. It was a big pile-up of huskies and sleds, and from them, the people behind them, the people behind them, and everybody had this major crash. It was...
So what I'd say,
yeah.
Two things. One,
yeah.
It's barely a sport, but we'll let you have it.
Yeah.
Two, what's that got to do with God?
Well, you see, because I think it reminded me of God, because we have this instruction book, the Bible actually wrote, and there's loads of things on there, kind of like guidance, giving us kind of ways to live. And sometimes we can feel a bit like, it's just a list of boring things. He just doesn't want us to have fun, God. And it could have felt like that. So when we're in the Husky Talk having these instructions, I think a lot of people are just like, yeah, whatever. But actually, because they didn't listen, one of the dogs got hurt, and it was an absolute mess. Well, it's a bit like that sometimes, as a Christian, that we have these instructions, and we think, and we try and do our own things, and it ends up in an absolute mess. Now, you could think that's the end of the story, and we're just left in mess, and that's it. But when in the husky situation, the man came along, untangled everybody, looked after the poor dog that had been hurt, really took care of it, and then we started up again. And that's a bit like us. We will make a mess. Well, we haven't followed those instructions. We think we know a better way of doing things. We think we know how we can handle it. And yet, we there have it in his word that, this is the best way because I want the best for you. And they would have had that, the Huskies, had they have listened. So God comes in and he says, you can start again. So maybe you have done the major mess ups and you think, wow, this is too messy. God says, you can start again. And that's what we did. And everybody got back into their sleds. Huskies got attached back up. And we went round. And we actually had no problems after that. And it was the most incredible thing ever. In fact, here's another little video of our experience with the Huskies and sleds.
Here we are. I feel they're just listening to us, you see.
Good dog.
Good boy, good boy. You're a good dog.
So what you're saying is, if any of us have injured a husky, that's all right. Read the Bible, live by it, and all the mess will be made fine. Is that what you're saying?
More or less. I think it is good to know that there isn't a mess that God can't deal with.
Yeah, cool.
And that the Bible isn't just a list of boring rules. We'll explore that next time, or I'll just keep going on about Finland for the next at least 5 years.
So there you go. What is it? Husky riding and God.
Bye!